Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and on today's video we have a PC to look at which has apparently got some faults. So it's been brought over to us. I'm going to take a look at it, see what the deal is. So this is going to be another one of our fix or fails. Now the description of this is somewhat vague, so we've got not a great deal to go on, but that is generally the case when you're doing PC repairs because most people just don't really know. They expect to press a button, PC to come on, log in, get on, do their business. That is it. So when things go wrong, it's always a little bit difficult trying to extract that information. But from what I've been told, the keyboard and mouse didn't work. And then there was another message after saying, actually, don't worry, it doesn't come on at all. So whether that is a no power situation, whether it is a no display situation, whatever, not entirely sure. So first things first, go round. When you ever get a PC in for any type of repairs, just do a very quick visual inspection just to look for anything out of the ordinary. Now it's always very good practice to check for things like the USB ports, so have a look in the USB ports. If need be, grab yourself a torch, shine the torch in there, make sure none of the prongs are kind of pushed over. Quite often, especially USB-A ports, plug something in, and sometimes if it's not put in the right way, it can get distorted, causing a short circuit, which then will stop the PC from firing up properly, possibly could trip out the power supply, those kinds of things. So you can do that for the front ones. Also, while you're at it, probably worth actually checking that the buttons are working. Sometimes with power buttons and reset buttons, if they don't have that normal sort of clicky feel to them, it could be that the switch has actually failed. And specifically with the reset switch, because the reset switch is designed to be a kind of momentary switch, so you press it and it basically makes two contacts go together to create a short circuit, which then essentially resets the computer. If that is held down, it's keeping it touched together, so it will shut the PC down, but it won't allow it to come back up again. So again, that is very important. Power switch, very similar sort of thing, although with the power switch it's normally a case of when the switch is closed, then 4 seconds the PC will shut itself off. So if you're getting a situation where you press the power button, turns on for a few seconds, then the PC switches itself completely off, that is generally a stuck power button or short circuit in the power button itself. So about 4 or 5 seconds, PC turns off, almost guaranteed that is what's happening. So other things you can check as well whilst you're looking around is obviously check the rear ports as well. Have a really good look inside again with the USBs, make sure that nothing is touching, bridged over. Quite often if you've got a removable IO shield such as this, then there's a potential for one of the metal prongs to be kind of latched inside the connection rather than on the outside. That is very common for the Ethernet port. The amount of times I've done that myself, installed a complete PC, then realised that is on the inside rather than the outside, and had to get some snips to cut it out rather than taking the whole board out. Obviously you really should take the board out and do it again properly, but certainly do pay close attention to the ports. Have a look inside again, get your searchlight or a flashlight out and make sure none of those prongs inside the USB ports are actually kind of switched together or arced together or anything like that. Power supply, same sort of thing really. Just check, make sure that the power switch has a click to it. If you press and it doesn't have a kind of audible click to it, could be the switch is gone, that sort of thing. Make sure the prongs are all okay on the back of the power switch. Other things you can do, have a quick visual, open up inside, have a look. Sometimes you can see if there's going to be any kind of capacitors which may be leaking, that sort of thing. Or potentially there could be dust. This particular PC, there's a little bit of dust in there, as you find with most modern households these days. There's that really fine dust. Especially if you've had any work going on in the house, like filler dust, that sort of stuff. Very fine dust, there's quite a lot of it around. I have given it a little bit of a vacuum out, but there's still a few remnants in there, so it's not perfectly clean. With this particular graphics card, this is something which actually is making me think possibly that could be the problem, because there was quite a lot of dust in here, a few little dust bunnies as well. This is a blower style card, the GTX 660 here from EVGA. So if the PCs aren't looked after, aren't vacuumed out on a reasonably regular basis, especially blower cards, because of the way that axial fan works, those can get blocked up very easily. Very similar to the fans that you find on laptops. Very common with that. Otherwise in here, all looks pretty good. Doesn't appear to be anything loose or anything, so I haven't really touched anything other than to give it a little bit of a vacuum just to get rid of any residual dust. So what I think we'll do is we'll connect up things, see what happens and see if we can get a post. Now something which is actually really good about this particular motherboard which is installed in here, we do have a debug LED. So that's going to be absolutely fantastic for helping us diagnose things. If you've got a PC that does have no diagnostic LEDs whatsoever, what you can do is get hold of a BIOS buzzer. These are really simple to get hold of, little BIOS speaker. I'll put a picture of one up on the screen so you can see what it actually looks like. You can plug those into a motherboard and you can diagnose the problem from your BIOS beeps. That is assuming that the motherboard is actually getting power. Anyway, with the talk of power, let's plug this thing in and see what we get. I'm going to hook this up to the capture device in the PC behind and record it as it happens, just in case for some miraculous reason it actually comes to life, and hopefully any initial error messages will help us diagnose what has actually gone wrong. So we've got the PC set up now, so let's fire up and see what happens. Hopefully the OBS is running in the background, so we should see something. We'll see what the diagnostic LEDs say. Anyway, here we go. Wish me luck. Well, we've got power to begin with, so that's always a good sign. And I just saw the diagnostic D-LED come on briefly there. And I'm not too sure what one that is. That seems to be cycling through them. But are we getting... Hopefully I'll be able to zoom in on this slightly after the fact, but we'll see if we get a boot situation, whether it stops on this. We don't appear to have anything on our screen, as you can see over on that side there. So we've got nothing currently. And it looks like the diagnostic D-LED has stopped for a moment. So let's see what that is stuck on. The third one down, so we've got CPU, DRAM, VGA and boot. So it would appear that the graphics card currently is our issue. So let's turn that off because we're in the BIOS, so we can get away with that. So what I think we'll do first of all, we'll just disconnect the power cable. That's going to be pretty straightforward to do. So we just loosen that off, and actually sometimes just unplug in and replug in a GPU can actually fix the problem. So in for a penny, in for a pound. We'll see if it actually boots this time. Again, hopefully you can see the diagnostic LED. There we go. And you'll see if there's a post because it'll be on the screen behind us there. Currently we're getting a no signal error, and it does appear that the... Yeah, I think we're still stuck in the same position. So yeah. Oh, actually I can hear a noise now, which I don't like the sound of. I thought that was the fan underneath, but it's not. So we'll kill that off now. So I think the best thing to do now is we'll take the graphics card out and have a closer look. So there we go, we've got the graphics card out, and hopefully you can possibly see that. I will actually put it in front of the camera so you can get some close-ups. But yeah, that fan does look pretty clogged. And if even a similar amount of dust like that is actually on the inside of the PC, then that is going to be pretty bad times. I have noticed, well, there is some kind of slight kind of sweat marks or grease marks on there, which I'm not too sure where they've come from, but there is a little bit of a greasy look there. So yeah, I think we'll need to possibly take this apart at some point to see what's going on. We do have a spare graphics card here, so what I'll do next, I think, is put in just a generic graphics card. I've got a GT 1030, so I'll stick that in just to see if we get a post situation, in which case if we do, we know that the graphics card is problematic. We could potentially just put it straight back in and give that a try, which I might actually do. Although the slot itself does seem to be quite caked up as well. So yeah, it could be a dusted situation, a little bit of dust in the contacts. I think what I might do as well is give this a little bit of a clean with a brush and also the dust blaster. Give it a good going over to make sure it's nothing like that. But yeah, let's show you what the card looks like up close. So yeah, hopefully you can see that that is, it's not entirely blocked as such, but it is possibly going to be reducing the airflow. And because dust, because it contains moisture, is, believe it or not, actually electrically conductive, that potentially can cause a short circuit. So if that dust has accumulated inside our GPU, inside this long shroud section, then that could be causing problems. So let's try another graphics card in the PC quickly, and we'll see if we can get a post situation. So we've had a quick GPU swap. So we've got our MSI Aero ITX. This is the GT 1030, good old trusty card. Sad story behind it. It was a card that I bought at the peak of the GPU shortages, and I'm pretty sure I paid the best part of £100 for a GT 1030 when they came out. Yeah, very sad times. Anyway, let's try to see what happens. So we've got it connected up. Hopefully we're going to see a signal in the background there on the AverMedia capture card. We'll see what happens. Got the diagnostic LEDs. It looks like it's gone straight to VGA there, but it has gone out again, so maybe it's going to try and redo it. and it looks like we are getting some form of signal. There we go, MSI Pro Series, attempting automatic repair. I recognise that lettering anywhere. So yeah, that's going to be doing the reboot, and that's probably repairing or diagnosing your PC. I'd imagine this has been turned on and off numerous times, so potentially the hard drive is going to be a little bit trashed. But from what we can tell at the moment, the system appears to be A-OK and is actually, well, is going to be somewhat fixable from there. There is a little bit of a weird noise coming from this fan. Maybe not that fan. Not that one. No, not too sure where that's coming from. Anyway, so we've got a screen on there so we can see that it's working. It will power up to some extent. We can fix that later on. That should be absolutely fine. So it looks like our problem is definitely lying with the GTX 660 here, which again, due to the amount of dust there, if that is on the inside, those capacitors or things in there could be short-circuiting very, very easily. So I think we'll switch camera angles and we'll take this thing apart and see what it's like inside and see if there's anything we can do to resurrect it. Now, I've actually left the PC running. This is a quick pickup shot. So the PC's running, it's actually doing a check disk at the moment and attempting repairs, so we'll see how that goes. But I just picked this card up thinking I'll just re-change the shot to try and get things going. And I did notice something loose in the bottom here. So my biggest concern with that is potentially it could be a screw, something quite harmless and quite innocent. But due to the fact that the card isn't working and the fact there's something physically rattling around in there, which sounds a little bit smaller than the screw, I'm a little bit concerned it might be one of the capacitors has popped due to short-circuiting. So yeah, we're going to open this up and see if my theory is right or wrong. So these are actually relatively straightforward to take apart. It's just kind of like basically a bunch of screws. They're all the same sort of size. So I'm going to quickly take all those off and then we'll do the reveal to show you what is actually inside. Okay, so we got it disassembled, and luckily the little bit that I could hear rattling around just seemed to be a piece of fractured plastic. So no capacitors missing or moved. Although what is slightly concerning, as you can hopefully see from this angle, is there does appear to be some oil or wax which appears to have come from one of the thermal pads, and there also seems to be, especially around this top section and actually around here, yeah, you can see I think the card has actually burnt out. So if you follow, there's like a rainbow trace, it runs along there over towards here, and yeah, you can see there has been some catastrophic failure over here, which does appear to be around a large amount of dust, which does appear to be around that section there. So it does look like the power rail has taken somewhat of a hit, and I would suggest that one of the voltage regulators has gone to ground and has taken that with it through the memory circuit and probably fried the memory, and that is why you've got oil from the actual thermal pads there, because when they get to a certain point they, like everything, boil, and they boil off the resin which is inside the rubber compound or silicon compound. So yeah, I'm glad I took it apart, because otherwise I would have never known. But it does appear that, yeah, that has had what I would consider to be a catastrophic failure, especially around that voltage regulation or VRM area. Unfortunately, I don't have the knowledge base to enable me to test that fully, although I probably could test for shorts, so maybe we'll do that after this. But I just wanted to give you a close-up of that just so you could see what I'm seeing for the first time, and that doesn't appear to come off, and it does actually feel a little bit swollen. The board itself actually feels a little bit swollen. Not sure if that's going to pick up on camera. I don't think it will do, but certainly I think that that rainbow-esque look around the memory section, I think pretty much says it all. This card is unfortunately going to be toast. So the plot thickens as it does. So I quickly just tried to clean up the graphics card anyway, just because why not? And this is the amount of dust that come out of it. So this is a decent a decent amount, and that's just in the fan blade. So whether or not this thing got overheated and that was what caused it to short circuit, I'm not too sure. Again, you need to be an electrical professional for that sort of thing. I would guess that is probably what happened. So short circuit due to dust. But with this still not booting, I actually thought, oh, let's take a look inside and see what's going on in the back. And it does appear there is actually an old laptop hard drive in here as well, which is making an absolute racket. So it looks like that has gone also. So whether or not it was because they're on a similar rail or something like that, I'm not entirely sure. Whether it's just a coincidence that by looking at this, or maybe that's been powered on and powered off incorrectly a few times without being shut down. Maybe it's damaged the drive. Maybe the drive failing has caused the graphics card. I don't know. But if we fire this up a minute, we'll see what it sounds like and you can let me know what you think. But it doesn't sound great. You can mostly hear the fan actually at the moment, so ignore some of that. We'll see if it actually starts making a squealing noise now. It did when I turned it off. It doesn't feel like there's any activity at all. There we go, I can hear it a little bit. Yeah, you can definitely hear it. That somewhat telltale sign of the disc head seeking across, which has possibly crashed onto the heads. So I'm thinking that is going to need to be sorted out as well. I think that's why it was getting the diagnosing your PC. Maybe there's a boot record of some sort on here from the previous computer that it was in. I'm not entirely sure, but automatic repair still can't do it. So what I'm going to do is shut down the PC, going to disconnect this and see if we can actually then get into Windows. So got the drive disconnected now, so we'll see what happens, see if it will actually get any further into the boot-in process. You never know, it might well do. Seems to have gone through the BIOS screen much quicker. We'll see now. See if anything comes up, and no, we've got a blue screen of error, which is critical process died. So yeah, I think we still need to have a little bit of a look at that. But I think at this point now, it's probably a good idea for us to wrap this video up because we've kind of worked out what the problem is, or some of the problems. I'm going to spend a little bit longer on this, trying to possibly resurrect the Windows installation, or maybe speak to them first and say, look, is there anything that you need on there, or can I just nuke it and start again? Being that we've got a new graphics card possibly going in here, which might be the case as well. I do need to find out what processor is in here as well, just in case there is onboard graphics, in which case maybe we can just ditch this and use the onboard to save any further expense. I think this is primarily being used as a games machine, so I don't think that is really going to cut the mustard, but we'll see what happens. But as far as we can tell at the moment, graphics card is definitely dead. What caused it to die, not entirely positive, but it could be some of the dust which has gone inside there, which may have blown it up, who knows. But anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, smash that like button. If you want to see more content like this on a daily basis, then hit the subscribe button and the chime notification. That way you'll be notified of future video releases. But for now, I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching.